Hey guys, look, I'm in London. No, I'm just kidding. I'm over here in Kissimmee at the Studio Movie Grill. I've never watched a movie at this theater, but I want to. I want to see the new Godzilla movie, which I've heard great reviews about. It's Godzilla Minus One. And a little fun fact, I've watched pretty much 95% of the Godzilla movies out there. I've missed some of the newer ones that came out more recently. But like all the old school ones, when he teams up with Jet Jaguar and all his fights against Mechagodzilla, I've seen all of those. But let's go check this out. I heard the food's pretty good here. Dude, this theater's fancy. Where are we going? One. Oh, this is cool. It's like I'm in a freaking, on the Death Star. So once I get in, I'm gonna order my food. But here's the theater, number 8. So to order my food, I'm just gonna hit this button here. Sweet. So after I placed an order for my flatbread pizza, which I got rounded, I was just enjoying the seat that I was sitting on. It was pretty comfortable. One little drawback though, the headrest does protrude a little outward. Even when the seat's reclined, it kind of pushes into your head. But the flatbread pizza that I got was pretty good. It wasn't great, but I did enjoy the service that the theater offered. Alright guys, I just finished Godzilla Minus One. Gotta say, that theater, studio movie grill was pretty darn good, I gotta say. Very clean and very, very classy feeling. But anyways, Godzilla Minus One. So some people are already hailing this as the greatest Godzilla movie ever. I don't know about that, but it's definitely a damn good movie. Now, the reason why I don't say it's the best Godzilla movie is because I don't think Godzilla is as prominent as he is in other Godzilla movies. That said, this is probably the best Godzilla movie with humans in it. Like, the human aspects are pretty darn good. But I think in this case, I feel like it was the human moments that kind of outweighed the Godzilla moments. But Godzilla was pretty darn awesome in this movie. Like, he was actually really terrifying. The sound effects were powerful. Godzilla was definitely scary in this movie. And definitely he was more of a monster villain in this. Whereas in other movies, he's seen as more of a neutral anti-hero, sometimes as a goofy wrestler. But in this movie, he's actually pretty darn terrifying. Now, the reason why I liked this movie quite a bit, it wasn't necessarily for the Godzilla moments, but mainly because there aren't many movies that show post-war Japan, you know, the years after Japan surrendered after World War II. This movie shows a lot of post-war Japan, and I love that aspect. And what was really really interesting is that they showed some World War II Japanese vehicles that were pretty rare. Like, there was one scene where there were some Type 4 Cheeto tanks firing at Godzilla. They had like 4 or 5 of them, but if you look it up, there weren't really that many Cheeto tanks in operation. I think only 2. There were only 2 tanks. There were only 2 Cheeto tanks that were operational by the time that the war ended, and I don't think they even saw action. But the movie showed like half a dozen of them, so that was interesting. And movie also shows a A6 M5 Zero Fighter, I believe. I didn't quite get a perfect look at the plane, but it looked like a Zero to me. And then they even showed a Shinden Interceptor fighter, which is really cool. That the Shinden got a lot of screen time. Well, it did get a lot of screen time, but it got some prominent screen time. But yeah, the humans in this movie were pretty darn engaging. This movie definitely has the best human scenes probably in any kaiju movie. But that said, I don't think the Godzilla scenes were the greatest, and there was no kaiju versus kaiju action. That's why I don't think this is the greatest Godzilla movie. But in terms of human story elements, this one definitely has the best human elements in it. I actually cared for the humans. I almost shed a tear for the humans in this movie. But I'm very glad I watched this movie. It was really, really darn good. I've watched a lot of movies these past few weeks, and this was definitely really high up there. And it was refreshing to watch a movie in Japanese. I am a huge fan of the culture. And I also do love history, and I do love Godzilla. This movie had that all. But anyways, I'm a big fan of this theater, Studio Movie Grill. This is my first time coming here, and actually I really liked it quite a bit. I might start bringing some of my friends here so they can watch movies. And it was really cool ordering food here. You know, if you watch at the dine-in at Disney Springs, you hit the button, they bring you food, but they stop that service at some point into the movie. With this one, I could order food pretty much any point in the movie, I think. But I think I'm going to call it quits for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoyed my mostly spoiler-free review.